Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. Sorry about the background noise. Laundry's going, but kind of got to do what we can do. So today's video is going to be restoration, rebuild, whatever you want to call it, of one of two kits. So I have two Traxxas Stampede kits. So we have a white chassis version and then the later all black chassis version. Now the white chassis version is not going to get worked on right now. Need a few more bits and pieces. I thought I had ordered everything, but I didn't. I do have some stuff on order for this. The biggest thing I need is new suspension mounts here. One's cracked back here, one's cracked up here. Now I may try to reinforce them. Basically, I can cut a strip of 3mm carbon fiber, inlay it inside of here, and bolster that up. Maybe epoxy it in, maybe put some extra screws out here to bolt it together. Not sure, but I can pretty much do that on the front and the rear to firm up those. You can find them online, but the only thing you can find is the black ones like on here. Now these are in good shape. Figures. I have new knuckles for the front. I ordered those a while ago, but I forgot I needed the white rod ends. The one for the right side is broken. The upper link for the suspension is broken. This is the steering link. This little broken piece is part of that steering hub. So, I had to get RPM ones. I could not find the white Traxxas ones. But it is what it is. I'm not too terribly worried about it. I'd like to keep it as original as possible. But the biggest thing is there's no white shocks on this. This should have the white body shocks on. They get nasty and grungy over time, so I'm sure somebody took them off and was like, yeah, those are too rough, put some basic black ones on and went with it. The other thing is this white gear cover back here. I found one. I don't want to pay that much money for it. So I'm gonna keep looking, and I've got it in my watch list. Maybe they'll make me an offer to reduce the price a little bit, but the way it stands now, no. Now, so this one does not have any electronics except for an old, I think, Futaba receiver and an old Futaba servo. Did not have a speed controller in it at all. This one does have, this one actually has an old Tower Hobbies System 3000, which I think was essentially the generic Futaba at the time, and I believe a Tower servo. Yeah, Tower Hobbies servo in it. So this is probably a bundled kit that was purchased from Tower Hobbies eons ago. And I know it was a kit because the kits came with the rotary speed controller. The RTRs that came out had the XL1 ESC in there. Now, this is going to be the runner because this has tougher plastics on it and is easier to find parts than the white one. The white one is going to get rebuilt, unfortunately, with the black shocks, but it's just going to be, dolled up, cleaned up, put up on a shelf, and adored. This one will actually run. But it has the factory Stinger motor in it. This one actually does have the gear cover, has a safety pin holding it on. People lose body clips. Surprisingly, both of the rear bumper wheelie bars are in pretty good shape. This one has a little bit of flat spotting on there from riding wheelies. The white one, absolutely perfect. So I don't know how much running this one actually did, but the bottom of it is in great shape. There's no scratches or scars on the aluminum really. Same thing with this one. Overall, very well. But overall, this one's in kind of equally as good shape. The chassis, the aluminum's not scratched up. You know, everything is in decent shape. This one's just really, really grungy. Obviously, the shocks have been leaking for quite a while. There's a lot of oil, dust, and stuff that's accumulated onto it. This one needs a strip down and a really good cleaning. This one is in much cleaner shape. Still has a little bit of oil in here and there. So this one will get stripped down, cleaned up, and put back together. Shocks will get rebuilt on both of them. Try to prevent leaking. And then we got to, like I said, source some pieces for this one. This one I should have pretty much everything. I do have new shock springs coming, or body mount springs coming, and this is kind of a unique one for the Sledgehammer. Not too many RCs out there had spring mounted bodies, but this one, you know, it causes some issues with driving. You know, you get a little bit of body wiggle, but when it rolls over, you know, the thing just kind of and springs back together. You know, it definitely saves the body a little bit. Speaking of bodies, let's move this out of the way. Bodies, I have two brand new Team Blue Groove Sledgehammer bodies for it, so we'll be able to get new ones painted up. For the runner, I may do something a little bit more fancy. For this one, it's going to be exactly box art. So the wheels on the runner are actually in really, really good shape. They're just dirty, but 99% of the chrome is still there. These, on the other hand, that came with this one, they are much funkier. So I think what I'm going to do is strip all the chrome off of these, paint them with that aluminum spray paint, kind of get that satin look to them, and then these wheels will probably go on this truck as runner wheels, and the chrome ones will go on this one. But we do have a full set of wheels and tires for this one. Now these tires are in decent shape. They're just hard as a rock, and they're starting to show some signs of cracking. But thankfully, both sets, neither ones are glued. So I did order. We've got a pile of Traxxas tires. Now these are the 1870s, so they're very much like if you guys are more familiar with Tamiya, they're very much like the Monster Beetle tires, the spiked chevron tires. So I've got a full set of tires for both vehicles. The one thing I don't have for either one of them is the roll bar for the bed. Now I think what I'm going to do, I've looked and looked and looked and looked. I cannot find that roll bar anywhere. It was a double post front with 2 bars coming down in the back, and the only thing that I have is the clodbuster, and that's as close as I think I'm going to get. The biggest difference between the clodbuster and the the Sledgehammer, was the Sledgehammer didn't have any light bar or lights across the top of the bar. It was just the roll bar, whereas the Midnight Pumpkin and the clodbuster, you know, both of those roll bars are designed to have the spotlights on the top. So I could run them without the lights, or I could just go ahead and stick the lights on there and go with it. I'll probably just stick the lights on there and go with it, and then, you know, it's the Tamiya Traxxas special. You know, unfortunately, finding parts for some of these things are just a royal pain in the ass and just too expensive sometimes. So we could do the best we can. So for right now, this guy's going to get set back in the box till more of the parts show up for it. So I will do this one whenever all that happens. This one we're going to go ahead and start stripping down. So I'll try to take some pictures along the way of the strip down, you know, show how grungy and dirty the parts are, go through, you know, lay all the parts out, and try to get some pictures done, get it put back together, take some pictures along the way so you guys can kind of follow along with the teardown rebuild, and then, you know, paint. And then after that, we should have a truck sitting here instead of all of this mess. So I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, we are back and have a rebuilt chassis. Cleaned up very, very well. Besides a few minor scuffs and scrapes and a little bit of wear back here, it looks brand new. Minus the bent up body post, but I have a new set of those on their way. Should be here maybe this weekend, if not early next week. So I can get a whole new set of body posts and stuff on there. These will come off and be spares. So what I did as far as putting it back together, built it box stock. Didn't really change anything that was already built. The cool thing is I took the shocks apart. I popped one open and the fluid in there was crystal clear. And I'm like, okay. And then I checked another one, crystal clear, just a little low. Essentially, the shock caps and the bottoms just weren't tight and just leaked fluid out. Now, they still all had anywhere between half and 3/4 fluid. So I just cleaned everything up really, really well, screwed everything down really, really tight, filled it up with fluid, put the caps back on, should be good to go. Everything feels really, really nice with it. Electronics, I did pull out the rotary speed control. I left the heatsink in here. 2 reasons. 1, it looks cool. 2, I just wanted to keep it in here so it doesn't get lost and doesn't get scratched up. It'll be protected by the body, so it shouldn't get dinged up and banged up back here. The original motor's still in it. The motor that it came with is still in there. And since I took out the mechanical speed control, we had to put in electronic speed control. And it's a Tekken, however you want to say it. Rebel ESC that Alan had sent over not too long ago. Hooked it up, everything works fine. All I do was soldered on a Dean's connector, which again, somewhat period correct, and have the radio link down in the bottom. Now, mounting options, I was going to make a plate back here where the rotary speed control and servo and all that mounts, but I needed to fabricate a new battery hold down. So this is what the stock battery hold down would look like. Obviously this one would probably, I don't remember if they changed these from white to a black FRP, but anyway, this is what they normally look like. Doesn't give you much room for mounting. Well, I had to make a new one anyway, so I just took some carbon fiber plate, traced around the outside, put the holes in there, and now I have a plate to mount the ESC to. Well, I did have to allow for enough room to pull the battery plate off and change the battery out, but there is more than enough room to get that in and out quickly and easily to change the batteries, and I'm not stressing out any of the wiring. Can't see the hole. This battery hold down is for the one that's still in the box down there, the white one that we're waiting on parts for. Putting this back together, I took pictures of it, thankfully, before I took it apart, to remember, where these go. Does the spaces go in the front? Did they go in the back? How were they on there? What hole was this screw in versus the other screw? Because the printouts, this is what I'm putting it together with. It's from Tamiya Base. I downloaded the manual. This is the only one I could find. The only other thing I could find was the parts list. So I had to print this out, and that got me most of the way through. I actually had to bring my laptop down to blow up some of the images to figure it out. Most of the time I just went back to the pictures on my phone to figure out exactly where things went. So one kind of unforeseen, whoopsie, boo-boo, unforeseen, unfortunate thing. While I was washing up all the parts, the rims were dirty, so I put them in the warm soapy water. It wasn't hot, it was warm. And, commenced to cleaning them up. Well, ended up cleaning off about half of the chrome that was actually on there. So now they're like half chrome, half white. Gonna end up stripping these down as well and just spray painting them. I just stuck them on here, wheels and tires, just to, get it to this point. Other than that, everything else went just fine. That was the only kind of moments in everything. Took the gear, took differential apart and cleaned it up some, re-greased it. The grease in there was the Traxxas really tacky black grease. Put a little bit of the green Traxxas tacky grease in there, so it's freer than it was, but it still is going to want to just get up and go. So speaking of get up and go, let's turn this guy on. So unfortunately, I was not able to reuse the switch mount here just because this little tiny switch just did not mesh well with that, and I didn't want to go extending the holes in here or extending the holes in the plate. So for right now, this just stuck down to the battery plate with everything else. So I did replace the servos. It's just got the cheap 995, 996 MG 995s in it for the steering, which is plenty. You know, it's more than fast enough for this big clunky truck, and Metal Gear should help out. And now the cool thing is I don't know, some of you guys may understand how ESCs work, some don't. But anyway, basically all the ESC is doing is turning on and off the electricity to the motor very, very fast. And the more throttle you give it, the less it turns it off, and you know, the longer the pulses are on. And you can kind of hear it in some ESCs, and this one you can definitely hear it. It literally has a of the pulses going to the motor to try to turn it on very, very low RPM. But just something I thought was funny. You know, I was just checking it to make sure forward was forward, reverse was reverse, and I heard that and I was like, oh, you can actually hear it, you know, oscillating. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Unfortunately, just ran out of time, and as you're seeing this on Sunday, you realize, hey, this is late Friday night, and Adam has still sitting down here in the basement recording the video. So unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to edit it Friday night, so you guys are seeing it Sunday morning instead of Saturday morning. Next time you'll see this, the body will be on it. I do have a Clodbuster roll bar and light set. I think it's like a black chrome looking, which is fine. Unfortunately, with the Traxxas body, there is a bolt-on chrome bumper and a bolt-on chrome bumper in the rear. We're just gonna have to paint that onto the body for now, or at least for this one, for the runner body. I've got some Traxxas chrome paint. I can paint the bumpers on chrome, and yeah, it is what it is. And I'll also be getting the wheels painted as well. Now these won't be like a chrome, they're going to be that aluminum finish, which is a nice, you know, matte chrome look. So those should look, well, they'll look better than they do now. They're like molded, yeah, they're not pretty. Until next time, guys, everybody out there, you guys be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.